Welcome back to the channel. A record win in week 1 for Hideki Matsuyama to deny the player that was on form and who I picked, which was Colin Morikawa. But what can we do? We can't argue. The Sentry, Hideki goes nuts, gets the win. Follow that up with the Sony Open, and it's a T6 for Keegan Bradley. Not far away, certainly placing a decent number inside the top 10. Then we come to Amex. I told you guys it's a tough one to pick, but when a player putts well, and I mentioned him, Justin Thomas, he got hot with the putter and he came in for second place. I've got you 2 top 3s out of 3 weeks. We're moving on to one of the best weeks of the year. It's Tory Pines, it's the Farmers Insurance Open, and it's one of my favorites. Let's get into it. The Farmers Insurance Open, down there at San Diego, right on the coast near La Jolla. What a venue this is. But you're going to need to game out. You're going to need to play well to do here. Just look at the list of winners. And we've got some of the game's absolute best who've achieved success around this golf course. Obviously dominated by Jon Rahm. He's not going to be in the field. But that shows you the caliber of golfer you need to look at. 19 of the top 50 players in the world will tee it up on the south and the north course down here at Torrey Pines. Obviously, we're going to look at favourites. We're going to look at who's absolutely balling out. Hideki, with his hot start to the season, has to be someone that you should pick. But Ludwig Aberg needs to be someone that absolutely gets a look in. Fast start is not essential at this golf course. In the last 10 years, winners have been tied 63rd, 77th, 90th, 95th, and 113th after round 1. So history shows you don't have to be gaming out off the blocks in order to get it done. The South Course at Torrey Pines is one of the longest courses on the tour, so driver will be important. So with that, I think that explains why Ludwig gets a look in. The guy absolutely drives the eyes out of it. His overall game is impressive. But I want to talk about my last few weeks and where I've been. You've seen me bring these videos to you from various hotel rooms. We're doing it again here now. I'm back in Florida. Weather outside's grim. But TGL showed me something in a player that I'm picking, not based off the clip data, but based off history. Can you believe it was 2019 that Justin Rose had the success at Torrey Pines? But having seen him play LA Golf Club against Jupiter in the TGL, he looked strong. He looked in a good place. He looked confident on the greens. He even gave Tiger the little finger wag. So one of the picks I'm going to go for here in names to watch, yes, we've got Hideki. Yes, Ludwig. They're the form horses. They're the obvious ones. But Rosie also is a name that I think you should be looking out for. He's got class around the greens. This whole game, he's got nothing really that you can tear apart. I have had a little look at his clipped data, and everything is rock solid. Now, this is your player quality. Overall, he's 100, so he's a rock solid tour player. Off the tee, 104, approach play 104, around the greens 100, and putting 97. Now, Torrey Pines is Poana, so it is really going to be dependent on where you get your tee time on those first couple of days. But knowing that you don't have to be balling out of the gate to get it done, maybe that doesn't impact as much as I perhaps think it does. Another name that I'm going to pick here, and I've mentioned him already. I know he's been in San Diego practicing hard for this. I know he put so much into his game. I know he's done well here when Torrey Pines held the US Open, and it's Aaron Rai. Again, click doesn't shine out that this is one to watch. Very similar numbers to Justin Rose, but I'm going for those 2 names as a personal pick, and I don't just want to give you absolute form horses in the 2 that are hot right now. Back into clip data that we've talked about throughout these, and it's getting us where we need to be. Let's be honest. If you can put this into your own game, then you're going to be able to study how you're playing and should you be making changes in equipment and what sections of your game are trending. That is why we're doing these videos. Yeah, it's cool to test predictions for the tournament, but also you want to see that the data and the stuff you're using actually works. That then puts me in a place with Will Zalatoris. He's got a history around Torrey. He's done well before. He's obviously fit right now. The back injury isn't causing him an issue. He's sleeping a little bit on a T26 at the Sentry and also a T12 at the Amex. So he's trending strongly off the tee, and he's up to 108. Anytime you get those numbers above 100 for a tour player, they're ones to watch for. You then look at the demands of Tory Pines. That's going to be clutch when it comes to him. He came runner-up here in 2022, and he was 7th in 2021. He's also gone down as saying that Torrey Pines is one of his favourite golf courses, and it fits his eye. So I think he's a name that we also need to throw into the mixer. Last week, and Clip does this because it follows trends, I picked Sungjae Im. If you look at how he got on after the poor start, then he came in with a 65 and a 68. He did miss the cut, but I'm going to stick with that name for this week. His game is rock solid. You can put that first round out in Palm Springs maybe as one that is an outlier. But the bottom line is this guy's gaming out, and he's someone that you absolutely need to watch. We know he plays a lot of events. We see he usually does well in the West Coast swing, so he's another player that I want to keep an eye on. He came 4th in Torrey in 2023 and 6th in 2022. And that's why I mentioned Jon Rahm at the top of this. I know he's not playing, but Tory Pines generally is a course where once you've done well there, such as the ball striking skills that you need, it can get cold with the marine layer, so you've got to be playing well, striking the ball out the center, hitting it good in order to do well. But that's why the same names always return to such a great golf course. Another player that I like, and I mentioned him also last week, but I didn't mention him as a tip to do well, but I was watching his scores, and that's Max Griesemann. He's quality with the flat stick. We mentioned him in relation to Sam Burns and how he's up there with his player quality when it comes to the putter. He finished T7 at the Amex and T24 at the Sentry, so he's actually playing well. Usually with tour players, when you get a couple of rounds, couple of tournaments under your belt, they trend in the right direction. His player quality, which is how his overall game is scored, is at 105. That's strong. This is taking every shot the player hits and putting him into a player quality score. To show you how strong it is, it puts him alongside Hideki, Sungjae, and also Ludwig Aberg. So you're looking at top players for the field. I don't want to waver off absolute ball strikers for the reasons I've given you. He's very strong off the tee right now with 110, and his putting, mentioned it, is at 104. He is someone that absolutely I'm going to add to that list of players to look out for. Top 10 picks, and this has come directly from Clipped. So all those names so far, your Griezmanns, your Rosie, your Rai, your Sungjae Im, your Zalatoris, they'd be the 5 I like. Yes, we can't sleep on Ludwig and Matsuyama, but also I don't want to pick the whole damn field here for you guys. But names that Clipped has pointed out to me as someone to look for. Steven Jaeger, he was T3 at Torrey last year. He was right up there at Sony before losing it left with his driver in the closing holes. 41st in the world golf ranking, so he's a player to look out for. And then college star Luke Clanton of Florida State University. He played in 8 PGA Tour events last year and had 4 top 10s. So in there, I've given you a bunch as well that you can look for as secondary names to finish in the top 10. As I've said before, these numbers are brought to you and powered by Clip. I'm proving that that data is accurate and we can predict and read names that do well in tour events. Geez, I've got 2 second places if you give me Justin Thomas, saying with the disclaimer that if he putts well, he's going to be up there at the Amex. And Amex is a tough tournament to pick. And of course, we had T6 with Keegan Bradley. Remember, this is a Ryder Cup year, so I'm expecting Justin Rose to come out the gates hot. He usually does. Form at the TGL shows that he's one that you certainly should be watching, along with the other names mentioned. I'm going to try and get these videos out on a Wednesday so you can have them for the Thursday, but I'm more interested in picking the data and seeing if it works. Let me know in the comments if these are videos that you like. Planning to run them all the way to Augusta. There is so much golf on right now that we're spoiled for choice, but hopefully Tory Pines is one that you like. LA with the Genesis and the tragedy, up in Los Angeles with the fires, could see that we've got this tournament playing Tory Pines as well a second time. So remember, the course is everything, form is everything. There could be 2 golf tournaments here in San Diego through the start of the West Coast swing. Keep an eye out. Remember, all the details are in below, and get in the comments and tell me what you think.